2023 will go down in history as the beginning of the end for music and society as we know it. At least, that's what everyone on social media is convinced, due to the development and popularization of artificial intelligence technologies that are accessible to anyone with an internet connection. Instantaneous voice replication of A-list artists like Drake, Playboi Carti, and virtually anyone using a simple vocal recording sampling algorithm, among other capabilities, are already wreaking havoc on streaming platforms, causing corporations to incite lawsuits in the hopes of dissuading fans from using the softwares that could very well put them out of business, raising questions as to what extent the consequences in the years to come may unfold. Is this the downfall of human creativity, or is it the beginning of something bigger? But what exactly is artificial intelligence, or AI for short? And why is it now all of a sudden so rapidly evolving? AI is essentially the simulation of human intelligence by machines and computer systems. The concept has actually been around for a long time, but given the exponential trajectory of technology, we are fast approaching a focal point in which AI systems can perform complex tasks without much human involvement, and very soon, not needing it at all, which is exactly what influential figures are scared about. For once AI can learn on its own accord regarding any topic and access the never-ending encyclopedia of information we call the internet within milliseconds, it'll be more powerful than humans, and no one can fathom what will happen next. Will it become conscious and reduce people to a subordinate species similar to all the movies surrounding the subject? I'm not sure if we even want to find out, but Pandora's box has already been opened, and it doesn't look like there's any stopping its path. The most recent craze in AI has undoubtedly been due to the emergence of ChatGPT, a logic learning machine-based model that surpassed even the most popular social media apps and daily active users in a matter of days, and applicable to virtually every desk job task, from helping students with homework to developing complex code for cryptocurrency market trading bots, or even assisting in writing the script for this video. Not too much, I promise. But the possibilities are endless, and music is no exception. But how exactly is AI being used in the music industry? Although it can handle complex tasks, typically, AI's capability has been limited to factual and/or numeric data analysis, tasks that can be precisely defined. However, somehow, even the most creative work has been reduced to mere algorithms, regardless of how random it may seem. One of the most popular applications as of late is the replication of popular artist voices in any pitch, note, and flow you can think of. All you have to do is submit a sample voice recording with any lyrics that you choose, and within seconds, an AI voice generator will output your favorite artist rapping or singing in the exact words, cadence, and melodies. Mind-blowing to say the least. As expected, the first few successful generations spread like wildfire across all social medias, especially for fan bases of artists that do not frequently release music, or worse yet, cannot release music, such as Juice WRLD and other deceased artists. But hands down, the most controversial of which was the AI Drake and The Weeknd collab produced by Metro Boomin, titled Heart on My Sleeve, racking up tens of millions of views after being uploaded to major streaming platforms for less than 1 week, surprisingly competing at the same level as the real artists. Obviously, record labels took issue with this potentially catastrophic loss of revenue for not only this particular song and 2 of their top artists' catalogs, but also the horde of tracks likely to come in the future if they didn't punish those monetizing their artists' voices without permission, and soon after, invoked a mass copyright takedown to all platforms for this song. Universal Music Group's public statements regarding the matter: the training of generative AI using our artists' music, which represents both a breach of our agreements and a violation of copyright law, as well as the availability of infringing content created with generative AI on DSPs, begs the question as to which side of history all stakeholders in the music ecosystem want to be on: the side of the artists, fans, and human creative expression, or on the side of deepfakes, fraud, and denying artists their due compensation, proving that for the foreseeable future, music corporations will likely be able to control this emergence of AI technology within music. Besides, they have all the money and resources to persuade the courts of their side of the argument, at least for now. But don't get it twisted, the labels are definitely shitting their pants thinking about what is yet to come, because this situation alone already definitely blurs the lines for what constitutes copyright infringement. I mean, the Drake and The Weeknd AI song technically didn't even use their name or likeness on monetized streaming platforms. It was simply listed under ghostwriter, And who's to say the AI generated voices weren't real people that just happened to sound exactly like Drake and The Weeknd? In the music industry, this conundrum happens all the time, especially in rap. Upcoming rapper is biting Lil Uzi Vert's flow or Playboi Carti's baby voice. Or, for a more concrete example, how everyone heard Panda by Designer on Kanye's Saint Pablo album and thought it sounded exactly like Future, one of the main reasons it originally blew up. And similarly, the AI doesn't sound exactly like the originals. There's just no way to prove that it's copyright infringement unless you use literally voice recordings of said artist. In other words, the labels are screwed, especially because it can generate music at a much faster pace. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The real reason Universal was able to copyright take down the song successfully is because the beat included a Metro Boomin producer tag, which actually would infringe on the label's intellectual property. But I bet they won't admit that, because they know more legal AI is coming. In fact, record labels have already begun litigation surrounding the subject. The United States Copyright Office's guidance for works containing material generated by artificial intelligence has stated thus far regarding an AI-generated visual work could not be registered because it was made without any creative contribution from a human actor, meaning that all that is required for creative work to fall within these guidelines is human input at some point. Once again, record labels won't stand a chance. Another prominent moment for AI music history occurred in 2022, centering around the title of AI rapper FN Meka, whose virality on TikTok, surging to 10 million followers in less than a month, quickly inked a deal with label powerhouse Capitol Records. The only thing is, he wasn't really AI. It was simply a man or team behind a virtual avatar, lyrics and voice powered by humans, merely a marketing scheme that was rather successful, to be honest. Until, that is, backlash ensued from the accused appropriation of black culture, causing Columbia to rescind their deal expeditiously. But despite the result, FN Meka still validated the demand for a new type of technologically advanced artist, not so different from the Fortnite partnership with Travis Scott earlier that year, where he exclusively performed his new release with Kid Cudi in virtual gameplay as an avatar. Besides, isn't all AI, at least for the time being, human-powered at its core? But AI's involvement in the music industry isn't just limited to replicating A-list celebrity voices. And moreover, these applications are capable of producing completely, or let's just say, relatively original work. Such as in production, song lyrics, and mixing and mastering, producers are already starting to utilize AI similar to sampling, in which the new technology will assist in producing elements of, or the entirety of, an instrumental based on parameters of their choosing. Hip-hop beat with trap 808s, melancholic synth loop, pitch correction in key A minor. Artificial intelligence can do it all, cloning the process of a human producer that could take hours, days, or even weeks in a fraction of the time. Although, producers still do input the ideas for the programs to implement and will likely modify upon the already created beat to their liking, but it does act as an efficient and potentially more creative foundation, especially with randomization features that can recreate an entirely different instrumental on command to work from. The same concept applies to image generation, one of the more time-tested capabilities as it has been around for a few years now. More recently, Homicide Gang has even employed an AI-generated picture of Taylor Swift sticking her tongue out for their sophomore album Snot or Not cover art. Of course, altering the photo ever so slightly to avoid any trademark issues, as we already know major labels do not play around. But as we can see, even in its infancy, AI has already started bleeding into every aspect of the music business. Nobody is safe. At least, if they do not accustom themselves to utilizing AI in some way, as those who do not will be left behind. But in all reality, artificial intelligence has actually already been in use a fair amount behind the scenes without us even realizing, albeit to a much lesser degree. As we briefly discussed earlier, many of the plugins and softwares artists, producers, engineers, and even graphic designers use today already implement such technology, such as background removal, spot healing, pitch correction, etc. Therefore, perhaps AI's rapid expansion to the music industry isn't as dystopian as we thought. In fact, there are many positives. In the case of the beat makers and artists alike, the mass creation of music isn't really the limiting factor. Rather, the real talent, at least in my opinion, derives from choosing particular sounds and instruments to release. Therefore, anyone can utilize AI to make hard drives full of songs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people will actually enjoy listening to them. So, all AI really does is speed up the creative process for those who hold such talent. Again, at least for now that is. It simply reduces back to just being a tool, similar to any DAW or creative software that for sure enhances the workflow and experimentation of sounds that would not have been thought of without the AI, but still needs the synergy of human input. One artist in particular that is taking advantage of AI with a unique approach is Grimes, techno pop star known for her relationship with Elon Musk, another avid supporter of artificial intelligence, by which she posted a Twitter in response to the controversial AI Drake and The Weeknd collab. I'll split 50% royalties on any successful AI generated song that uses my voice. Same deal as I would with any artist I collab with. Feel free to use my voice without any penalty. I have no label and no legal bindings. Essentially expanding her discography passively, with no work needed on her end whatsoever. Meanwhile, incentivizing the creation of new music and therefore revenue streams as well with the use of AI voice generation. Fans and producers have unlimited bounds across the world, allowing her to now experiment infinitely with different sounds and genres. In other words, democratizing music. This is exactly what record labels are afraid of. The lack of control they've been able to gatekeep for hundreds of years. The barrier to entry in music has now been broken. But labels aren't totally victimized in this hypothetical new AI-driven world. After all, they still do technically own all the rights to the megastar talent in their respective repertoires. And of course, the resources to properly monetize this new technology. For instance, with AI, record labels now have much more access to create music and content overall for artists that are no longer with us, and for a fraction of the cost. Such as the late Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, or even pop legends like Michael Jackson, by which producers can generate entirely new music, videos, or live performances utilizing AI replicas of their voice and image to release as if they were still alive. Although controversial and/or unethical in the eyes of many, still a possibility. However, with the emergence of increased output and lower barrier to entry in music, AI will definitely have some negative impacts. The elephant in the room currently is that many of the more technical positions will be replaced by AI, as has already occurred in other industries, and likely, this very well will be the case. Mixing and mastering has already largely been replaced at more amateur levels by softwares that can match industry standards. A&R roles can and will be taken over by machines that can detect organic artists developing a small buzz on SoundCloud. Algorithmically curated playlists serve the exact subgenres of our listening behavior. And as we discussed, AI-generated artists are already attracting more attention than their human counterparts. For all we know, at some point in the future, potentially all creative positions will be surpassed by AI that can predict the exact type of music and branding we engage with most. Not too different from our TikTok For You pages. And with such algorithmic content, AI could in all likelihood exacerbate the homogenization of music, meaning that due to a certain type of music performing best relative to engagement on social media and streams, virtually all AI models will follow this exact type of music and create an echo chamber of similar sounding songs, simply producing for the sole purpose of optimizing metrics rather than creative expression or thinking outside the box. And you thought pop music was bad. This could be our worst nightmare, especially because listeners would become so accustomed to listening to quote unquote optimized music that anything different would cause them disgust. This would mark the end of music as we know it if it happens. But overall, the outcome for AI in the music industry remains uncertain. As the technology continues to evolve, we as humans must also, in order to adapt to the ever-changing ear of the listeners. AI definitely has the potential to enhance human creativity, but also to destroy it. And in its earliest stages, it has already impacted the world as we know it. Will it revolutionize music into its golden age? Or will it be the downfall? Y'all let me know in the comments what you believe the future may hold. And God bless us all.